Hello everyone, welcome to UpSmart. This is your Ready Prakash and here we are to discuss everything about the biology 5th class, and in the previous 4 classes we have discussed cell and cell theory and various organelles of the cell, everything about the cell in the first class, and in the second class we discussed everything about the tissue, and then on we went on to study the life processes in the third class, and the last subunit of life processes, that is the most important, reproduction, we studied in the 4th class. And now here we are to discuss the 5th class, which is based on the diversity of living organisms, majorly the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom, and the last one will be the heredity and evolution. So with this we can wind up the biology part for the examination of CAPF AC, which is very important for the examination. Mark my words, at least some 15 questions will be coming from biology, and you can answer more or less every question, or at least 10 to 11 questions from my class. And to get these PDFs and these notes, kindly contact us by the through the number displaying below the smart board. Okay, so let us firstly begin with the class. Let us not waste the time with the introduction and all those things which I have already done. Sorry. Okay. See, now the chapter, as I said, it is about the diversity of living organisms, right? So what do you think is the diversity of living organisms? Diversity, sir, plants are there, animals are there, and within plants various plants are there, various kinds of animals are there. These are the diversity which are usually understood that we have in our nature. But beyond this we have various other diversity, like say kingdom Monera. Majority of bacteria comes under this kingdom. Okay, and then kingdom Protista. Kingdom Protista comes the second one, and here comes the amoeba and other things. Okay, and next comes the fungi, and then the major two, the plantae and animalia. Sir, you're telling kingdom, these are 5 kingdoms. What are kingdoms, sir? And who gave this 5 kingdoms, sir? It was Whittaker, very important. Whittaker for the first time classified all the living organisms through the 5 kingdoms, and the kingdom refers to classification of all the living organisms. First comes kingdom, and then comes phylum. Kingdom, phylum, class, and various other things. We'll discuss this classification, but these are the top 5 kingdoms, the major 5 kingdoms, and within this various classifications will be there. Okay, so as I said, the 5 kingdom classification is given by Whittaker, and there is an extension of this classification as well. The extension of this classification was given by VC. VC gave the extension of this classification. Okay, sir, he has given the extension. What is the extension, sir? The extension is the kingdom Monera. What is there was further classified into Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. Need not get into technicalities and very minute details of all these things. All we need to know is the 5 kingdom classification was given by Whittaker, and the extension of Monera was given by VC. Enough? This is enough. And we can discuss the elements within each by with the next slide. Okay, you see, I told you I'll give the classification. Firstly, I'll tell what is kingdom, what is phylum. I'll give you the classification. Actually speaking, we need not know what each one refers to. Just the sequence or the chronology is the most important for the examination. If we see, okay, I told first one is kingdom. I told that first one is kingdom. Then comes phylum, which is also known as division, class, order, family, genus, species. in examination the question might be very direct and easy. Arrange all of this in sequence, okay, or pick the right one. This can be the question. So sir, this is confusing sir, we have 7 names and it is confusing slightly. Yes, right. So let me give a cheat, a mnemonic for this, so that you people don't forget. See, we were kids and many kids are there in the society right now also. What do you think they like the most to eat? Chocolates or the very fine green spinach? The green spinach or the chocolates? What do they prefer? You know, kids prefer chocolate. So remember this. Kids prefer chocolates over fine green spinach. Okay. Kids prefer chocolate over fine green spinach. What is kids? Kids is kingdom. P for phylum or division. Fine. And C for chocolates for class. Over. O for order. F for family. G for genus. S for spinach. S for species. Now you have an assignment. Okay, today's assignment is to situate human beings among this. Where do we situate? Are we a part of order? Are we a part of genus? Are we a part of species? Okay, this is your task. Situate where we belong. This can also be a question. Very important. Fine. So easy with this, right? Kids prefer chocolates over fine green spinach. Very easy, right? Very easy. I say samjha to I will not forget for a long time, sir. Right? Now, sir, you told 5 kingdoms and you told you will be explaining each one in detail. I will be explaining. The first one I told was Monera. The extension of Monera was given by VC. The 5 kingdom was given by 5 kingdom classification was given by Whittaker. First one is Monera, right? Monera. Now remember. Monera is prokaryotic and rest all are usually eukaryotes. This is important. This is important. Write it down. Fine. Easy, right? Monera is prokaryote and rest all are eukaryotes. And you know the difference of prokaryotes and eukaryotes. If you don't know, go back and watch my first class. Okay, that is on cells. Fine, right? Next, protista. What is protista, sir? Protists are usually unicellular and eukaryotes, nothing to study because all of them are eukaryotes. So they are unicellular. Now we know Monera. Now we know protista. So the examples of Monera are, I told bacteria are usually Monera. Bacteria. These are usually Monera. And you have another assignment. The assignment is very tricky but easy, conceptual. Situate where virus belongs in this 5 kingdom classification. Okay. Very easy question, which I already discussed in other terms in the previous class. That was also an assignment. Easy, right? Next, protista. Protista, examples for protista are amoeba and paramecium, the unicellular ones. Amoeba and paramecium are unicellular, right? We discussed amoeba and paramecium in detail. We also discussed how they take in the food, how they consume the energy and how they dispose the waste. Fine, right? We discussed all these things and this belongs to protista, kingdom protista. Next, fungi. Sir, I know this. What you know? What is fungi? Sir, The green thread-like structures are called as fungi. Yes sir, you're right sir. But if we also see the examples for fungi are mushroom, yeast, bread mold. All these are fungi sir. Okay. And fungi are usually heterotrophic. And within heterotrophic, they are which kind of heterotrophic? Name it. Remember it. Which kind of heterotrophic? Saprotrophic sir. Sapro means living on dead organisms. Okay. Dead matter. Fine. Saprotrophic. And what are we? The animals. What kind of heterotrophic are we? Holozoic sir. We consume directly holozoic. Fine right? Fine with that right? And I also told you earlier, chitin. Fungi are made up of chitin. Very strong outermost particles, outermost covering of fungi, so that it will be stable enough in the harsh environment. Chitin. Fungi are made up of chitin. And viruses are made up of something very similar, capsid protein. This is chitin protein. Viruses are capsid protein. Also remember cork cells. The outer covering is made up of, this is your assignment. If not, if you don't remember, Google it down. Or go back to first class, study the notes, get the information. Fine. The next two, Plantae and Animalia. We know majority of it. Plants are multicellular and they are autotrophic. We are multicellular, we are heterotrophic. Holozoic if asked particularly. Examples we know. Easy right? The 5 classification is very easy. Don't get confused. All that you have to do is study in the right way. All that I have to do is to teach you in the right way, which I believe I am doing right now. If you feel like something which should be improved from my teaching, kindly comment it down. I'll take it as a positive feedback. Okay. Thank you. Next, we'll discuss each one. If there are any other points which are important for examination. See, Monera. We have discussed majority of this, just that it will give a recap to you and add another point to the what we have studied earlier. I told Monera are prokaryotes, rest all are eukaryotes. This is the most important point. Only Monera are prokaryotes, rest all are eukaryotes. Okay. There might be exceptions, but this is generally a 99.99%. Fine. Monera are prokaryotes. Unicellular rights. Do prokaryotes have true nucleus? No sir. That is the difference between prokaryotes and study sir. Okay. It may or may not have cell wall. Not sure. That is the Monera. So that is why I always told you, listen to the first class, listen to the second class, understand them, revise them many times, because those 2 chapters sets the foundation for the further chapters. If you ace the first 2 chapters, rest all are very easy. It's a cakewalk for you. Biology is a beautiful subject, most interesting subject if you understand it. समझा तो easy होगा, नहीं समझा तो रट्टा किया तो बकवास होगा, एक मार भी नहीं आएगा. So even now the time is not lost. Okay, you can always go back to the first video, rewatch them, you can understand them, get the notes and write the words which you feel are difficult on a plain paper. Revise them whenever you study biology, and believe me, you are going to ace this examination and you are going to become an officer. So right now I am treating you, hello everybody, welcome to UpSmart. I want you to treat like, hello officers, welcome to UpSmart. This is my goal. Okay. So the nutrition of Monera will be autotrophic or heterotrophic. It can be anyways. And examples are, I told you, bacteria, majorly. Bacteria, and other one is mycoplasma. Fine. Monera, prokaryotes, unicellular, no true nucleus, cell wall may be or may not be. It can be auto or heterotrophic. And examples are important. Usually examples are asked in classification. Easy. And maybe these features, sometimes examples are also very important. Don't feel like examples are given to make the features understand. Examples are important. Next, protista. Sir, you told protista. I remember, sir. Only monomer are prokaryotes. Rest all are eukaryotes. I remember that, sir. Very good, sir. If you remember that, very, very good, sir. Eukaryotes. And they are unicellular. Okay. And I told amoeba is one example. And the creature which has cilia. What are they called? Remember, sir, I am not going to tell everything, sir. You have to remember, sir. You have to remember and write it down in the examination. Apply it on the examination paper. Fine. Cilia. What is cilia? What is flagella? Flagella is a tail-like thing which helps in movement. Cilia is hair-like thing. Okay. It moves using cilia and flagella. Protista move using cilia and flagella. It can be autotrophic and heterotrophic. Examples are amoeba, paramecium, diatoms. Easy, right? Next, fungi. You know everything about fungi. Eukaryotes for sure, you know. Heterotrophic eukaryotes because only monomer is prokaryote. Rest all are usually eukaryote. Eukaryote, heterotrophic, cell wall made up of chitin. I already told you. Saprophytic and sometimes parasitic. Majority saprophytic. Okay. Examples are, I already told you, yeast, mushroom, bread molds. Easy with fungi, right? Next are lichens. Most favorite topic for all the UPSC examinations. And it is not wrong to say for all the government examinations. Lichens. It is lichens and the government examiners like the lichens. Okay. So what is lichens? This is algae and this is fungi. So what algae is usually autotrophic. It can prepare its own food. It has chlorophyll. Algae is autotrophic. Fungi, hetero. So, but fungi has very protective structure. It can protect itself. It can live for longer time. But algae, it needs chlorophyll. It needs protection. It needs shelter. It needs everything. But it has resources. Resources for food. These don't have food. So these two will come into agreement now. These two will tell like, hey, I will give you the protection. You give me the food. Fine. That is the symbiotic relation between algae and fungi, which will be significant for both of them and both the organisms will protect, and that is called as symbiotic relation, symbiotic association. It will be between algae and fungi. Easy, right? Easy, very easy. Let's go to the next slide now. Next, kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae. You know all of this. Multicellular, eukaryotic, cell wall will be present in plants, not in animals. Autotrophic. You know this. I'm just giving you a recap. Now, this is what you need to know now. Very important for the examination. Stay focused, stay connected, right? Plantae is further divided. Kingdom Plantae is further divided into Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Phanerogams, and Phanerogams are further divided into 1. Gymnosperm, 2. Angiosperm. Okay, sperms, something like that, refers to the seeds. Fine, I'll give the differentiation of both of them, which is very important for the examination. So, these are called as holistically phanerograms. and these are called as cryptograms. These three together are called as cryptograms. The other one is called as phanerograms. Phanerograms are further divided into gymnosperm and angiosperm. This should be remembered. I'll give a recap again. First comes cryptograms, and the second part is phanerograms. Cryptograms, phanerograms. Cryptograms are divided into thallophyta, bryophyta, pteridophyta. Three kinds. Phanerograms are divided into gymnosperm, angiosperm. Easy. We'll discuss each of them in detail, which is very important. Fine. So, before discussing each of them in detail, first let's understand what are cryptograms, what are phanerograms. Cryptograms are three kinds, I told you. What are they? Thallophyta, bryophyta, pteridophyta. Phanerograms are two types: gymnosperms, angiosperms. Fine, very fine, easy. Now the difference between two of them are cryptograms. See, you know cryptocurrency, right? Crypto. You know cryptocurrency, right? Can you see cryptocurrency? Can you see cryptocurrency like how you see the dollar and the rupee? It's not visible, right? Similarly here, cryptograms will have, gams means gametes. Gametes means reproductive organs. Crypto means hidden. So, hidden reproductive organs. Easy. Understanding the name is enough for you to understand the concept. Understand the name. Biology is like that. Okay. Crypto, hidden reproductive organism. Next one, phanerogams. Here comes the visible reproductive organs, and the example for them are gymnosperm and angiosperm. You can see the gametes, you can see the seeds. That is phanerogams. Sir, you are telling you can't see the gametes, you can't see the seeds. That means seeds are not there. Seeds are there, but you can't see them. Refers to seeds are in the form of spores. I told you spores. I told you ways of reproduction, asexual reproduction. One of them are spores. Cryptograms reproduce through spores. Reproduced by spores. These will have spores like this. This will disperse and reproduce the next generation. But phanerograms will have seeds, right? They will reproduce through seeds only. Easy. Interconnection. You understand the name, you apply it. Interconnection, you will understand the concept. Very easy concepts. Next one, cryptograms won't have seeds. They will have spores. Then how they will get the flowers? They will not get, right? Obviously. No flowers or seeds. Here comes seeds are present. Flowers may be present. Easy, right? We'll go ahead. Now, one second. This is taking a second to set up. I told you, I'll give you a proper differentiation between cryptograms and phanerogams. Phanerogams are gymnosperms and angiosperms. Cryptograms are thallophyta, bryophyta and pteridophyta, sir. I remember this, sir. If you remember, very good. You are on a fine track. Remember it. Yes, it. Become an officer. That is what all I want. That is what your parents want. That is what you want it. If you like my teaching, kindly give a comment and appreciation. That is your comment gives more motivation for me to do the classes in a much better way, the upcoming classes. And after these biology classes, I will be continuing with the chemistry classes. Physics classes will be done by Ashwajit sir. So, kindly believe in us. We'll give you the best content in the market. We'll give the best classes in entire India. and you can ace the examination. Fine. So first comes the cryptogams, and within them are Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta. So let's first differentiate between these three things. Fine. First came in the evolution, in the chart of evolution, first came the Thallophyta and evolved into Bryophyta, further evolved into Pteridophyta, further evolved into Phanerogams. This is how the evolution happened. Fine. Thallophyta means plant body will be thallus. The meaning of thallus is undifferentiated. Sir, I heard this word, plant is undifferentiated, plant is differentiated, but I don't know what is undifferentiated, what is differentiated. Okay, see, I have a head, I have a neck, I have a shoulders, I have hands, means different organs, means differentiated body. Similarly, a plant will be having the leaves around it, a stem, a roots. If that is visible to you, if that is properly differentiated, a plant will be having leaves, shoot, stem and roots, then it is differentiated body. And there might be few plants where you can't see the roots, where you can't see the leaves, but it is still a plant. That means those are undifferentiated plants. Thallophyta by the name thallus means undifferentiated. These are undifferentiated plants. And after evolving from this, there came stem-like structure, root-like structure. But those are not proper stems, proper roots. It only feels like it has a stem, it has a root. But those are not proper stem and proper roots. Okay, proper stem and proper root came later. It feels like it has roots and stem. Then they named it as Bryophyta. Stem-like and leaf-like structure came. Next, then this evolved to become true stem, true roots. Then they named it as Pteridophyta. Easy. Understand the chronology. Very, very easy subject. Thallus undifferentiated, well differentiated. Easy, right? And obviously, what is there in phanerogams? What is left in phanerogams to evolve into? Already it is differentiated. It is differentiated. Interconnections, flow, chronology, concepts. Next, the roots. Roots are absent in Thallophyta because undifferentiated body. Next, in Bryophyta, I told you, root-like structure will be there, not the proper roots. Then they name those improper roots like rhizoids. Rhizoids. Fine. Then came the Pteridophyta. True roots are present. And if it is already true, if it is already there, then what is there to improve in phanerogams? It is already present. It is present. Easy, right? The flow. Next is vascular system. I remember this word vascular system. Vascular system. Where, sir? Where do you remember, sir? Arey yaar, I told you. Vascular system. Xylem and phloem. What do? They transport what, sir? Xylem, xyl, gel means water. Phylum, food. Okay, they transport that. Those are called as vascular system. See, the Thallophyta doesn't have the differentiated body only. It doesn't have roots. It doesn't have stem. It doesn't have leaves. Then why it needs vascular system? Why it needs to distribute it to different organs? It don't have organs. If it doesn't have organs, why it need to distribute it? Not necessary, right? That is why absent. Conceptual. If you do Ratta learning, you really think you can remember this thing by mugging up. Not right. Next, Bryophyta. It seems like it has, but it doesn't have, because everything is one organ. Again, no distribution required. So no vascular bundles required. Absent. Next came the Pteridophyta. Differentiated bodies are different stem, different leaves, different roots. So transportation is required. Water needs to be transported from the roots to leaves. Food needs to be transported from the leaves to various parts. Fine. So present. And it became more evolved, highly developed and still present. Easy with that. The understanding is very important. Reproduction. I told you already. Cryptogams, all cryptogams reproduce to spores. Phanerogams through seeds. That is easy, right? Reproductive organs. I told you this is also basic classification. It is hidden in cryptogams. It is not hidden in phanerogams. It is cones in gymnosperms, flowers in angiosperms. I'll discuss this. Don't worry. And if they don't have seeds, no fruits there. So cryptogams don't have fruits. Phanerogams, if you see, gymnosperms, this is important now. Gymnosperms won't have fruits. Angiosperms will have fruits. Note it down. Fine. Next, examples. Key exam facts are thallophytes, most primitive plants, mainly aquatic. Most primitive means the first stage of the primitive, the first stage of. Fine. And mainly it is in aquatic. Easy with that. And next, evolved from Bryophyta. So they were first in aquatic, they evolved, they came out of aquatic, but not completely on land. Sometime it was on land, sometime it was on water. Okay, so they are called as amphibians of plant kingdom, need water to reproduce. They went on to land, but whenever they wanted to reproduce, whenever they wanted to release the spores, they came back to water. That is why they are called as amphibians. Fine, the examples are mosses and liverworts. The examples are very important, I will tell you. These are all amphibians of plant kingdom, needs water to reproduce. Fine. Next, they got this ability to reproduce on land later, pteridophytes. So first terrestrial plants with vascular tissue. Why vascular tissue? Because they have differentiated body, they need to distribute the food and water. And these are first terrestrial plants. These are amphibians. Easy, right? Next, what is there in phanerogams? Most advanced, dominant land flora. Everything is there here. Now the examples very important. You have seen the algae, right? Have you seen algae on land? Algae will be on water. That is an example for thallophyta. It will be on water. It will release spores. No roots. Easy, right? See here, algae. Example of algae, one of the algae are Spirogyra. Very easy, sir. This was so confusing concept. Now we made it easy. Okay. Next, this is very important now. Bryophyta examples are mosses and liverworts. These are usually asked in exams. The examples, mosses and liverworts are examples for Bryophyta. And they'll confuse it with pteridophyta examples. Ferns and horsetails are examples of pteridophyta. Phanerogams, the usually what we see, fruits and other things, we'll discuss that. Fine. Now we'll differentiate between the gymnosperms and angiosperms. I told you gymnosperms have cone-like structure. These will have, angiosperms will have flowers. How you will remember? How you will remember? Angels will be with flowers. You see, flowers gives the beauty to the girls. Fine. I'm just making sure you remember. Don't take me as a bad person, okay? Angiosperm, flowers. Easy. Now you remember the angiosperms, right? So, which don't have angiosperms, which don't have flowers, is called as gymnosperms. Men usually go to gym, no flowers. They'll not keep flowers. This is what they're. Fine. Angiosperms, gymnosperms. Easily understood. These will have cone-like structures. Easy, right? Pine and deodar. They will have cones like this. Fruit-like cones, dark cones. You would have seen sometime. Pine and deodar are examples. Naked seeds. Like this, a fruit like this will be there in pine and deodar. You can see the seeds. You can see easily outside. It is naked. No dress on the seeds. Okay. Next, evergreen and woody plants are usually the examples. Easy, right? You should remember. It is conceptual and easy. If you remember angiosperms or flowers, those who go to the gym don't have flowers. They don't have flower means their seeds will come outside only. If they have flowers, their seed will be inside. This flower will cause, seed will go to inside. Inside a seed will develop. If they don't have flower only, what will happen? Seed will grow outside only. That is why gymnosperm seeds are outside. The examples are pine and deodar, woody plants, evergreen plants. If flowers are there, seeds will go inside, it will fertilize, and seeds like this will form inside the fruit. Fine, right? Flowering plants, seeds enclosed within the fruit. That means it is not naked. Here it is naked. Examples, types of angiosperms are monocotyledons and dicotyledons. These are important. Monocotyledons means only one cotyledon. Di means two cotyledons. Cotyledons means the seed. The seed will be like one single structure. If it seems like two structures, then it is called as dicotyledons. Example of monocots are wheat and maize. Easy. Dicotyledons are pea and mustard. Easy, right? Very easy, right? You understand the subject, you will not forget the subject. That is how it is. If you are the subject, don't remember you will not remember the subject. UPSC will make sure you will not even remember your dream. You will not even get into service if you don't remember, understand the concepts. UPSC is about conceptual understanding. Fine. Next, kingdom Animalia. Before getting into kingdom Animalia, I will show you how the kingdom is divided. I told you, sir, I told you, kids prefer chocolate. After kingdom comes phylum. After kingdom comes phylum. There are various phylums of animal kingdom. Phylum Porifera. Pores will be there here. So that is why they named it as Porifera. They have pores, they named it as Porifera. Cnidaria. I'll explain you all these things. I'm just giving these names at once so that it doesn't seem new words when I explain them in detail. Okay, I know these names are difficult. I'm just giving you right now because when I explain each one of them, it doesn't seem like the first time you are hearing it. Artswala, this is all for you people. Kindly leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, make sure you share our channel with your friends, be a companion to your friends. Society is like you grow alone with the ideology of growing alone. You will not have a happy life, you will not have a healthy life. It is like we grow with others. When 4 people grow around us, they'll make sure we grow around them. It is like that. We have to help each other. So if you feel these classes are easy, important, well structured, kindly share it with your friends. This is my humble request. And your comment is the best appreciation for me. It will make sure I'll improve for the further classes like chemistry and others. Fine. One of them is Porifera. It will have pores called as, that is why they named it as Porifera. Next is Cnidaria. Next is Platyhelminthes. It will have flat structures. That is why they named it as Platyhelminthes. Next is phylum Nematoda. These ones. Usually these are parasites. Nematoda. Annelida. Mollusca. You see the octopus, snail and other things and all are mollusca. Mollusca, it seems something like, sir, you told mucus something earlier. Is this the same? Is it related to mollusca? You have seen the snail, right? Very smoothy. Octopus and these shells and all very smoothy. So it will have more mucus, very soft outer body. Something remember like that. Mollusca. Nematoda, Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes. I'm just making sure you get used to these words. Next is Arthropoda. Arthropoda are usually insects. The most dominant phylum. Most dominant means highest numbers of kingdom Animalia are in insects. Arthropoda. Next is Echinodermata. Okay. Starfish and other things are Echinodermata. Next is phylum Chordata. These will have a chord, that is why called as phylum Chordata. Just remember the names. Just make sure these names you remember, and next time you hear it, it will not be giving you a feel of the first time. hearing. That is enough for now. We'll go to each of them. Now you make sure you understand each of them. Next is kingdom Animalia. I told you Animalia. I'll just give another brief recap. They are multicellular, eukaryotic, heterotrophic, no cell wall. Cell wall will be present in. It will be present in plant, not in animals. Fine, you know that, right? Next, the first classification is Porifera. Second one is Cnidaria or phylum Coelentrata. Coelentrata or Cnidaria. Names are very important. It is confusing, I know, but I can't help. Biology is like this. It has to be taught like that. I can give you as much as concepts, as much as diagrams, but there needs a extra effort from your side when words like this are come, because it is kept by those English wale, not from our forefathers of the nation. Okay. Porifera, I told you pores will be there. Body with pores. You see, pores, the openings. It will help in what? When you have pores, it will help in exchange. It will help in canal system present. Canal system will be present. Mostly marine. It will mostly be marine. Example, sponges. Easy. Examples are also important. Next, Cnidaria or phylum Coelentrata. Both are same. Other names. These are also aquatic. It is radial symmetry. Now, what is radial symmetry, sir? What is diploblastic, sir? Very good doubts. Say, when you have a body, remember, just think this is a body of an organism. If you can cut the body into two equal halves, if you can cut the body into two equal halves in only one particular plane, then that is called as double symmetry, disymmetry, various names will be there, bisymmetry. Okay, but if you can cut the same organisms in different planes into two equal halves, see, however you cut, it will become two equal halves, then it is called as radial symmetry. Okay, sir, that I understood. Symmetry concept I understood. What is blastic, sir? Blastic means layer of germ layers. If you have only two layers, it is called as diploblastic. If you have three layers, triblastic, something like that. Okay, blastic means germ layers. Remember, it is germ layers. Layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. If you have layer 1 and layer 2, diploblastic. Example is Cnidaria Coelentrata. The examples of Cnidaria of Coelentrata are hydra, jellyfish, corals. Hydra, jellyfish and coral. Fine, you need to remember this. And the sponges are example for Porifera. Corals are examples for Cnidaria. Jellyfish and hydra are examples for Cnidaria. Examples are also very important. Concepts are also very important. Next comes the other phylums. Phylum Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Mollusca, Echinodermata. Platyhelminthes. Sir, flat. This is what you told. Yes, I told that because these creatures will be, you see them, will be very flat in nature. Flat worms. These are worms and it will be very flat. Next is bilateral symmetry. You cut this into any plane like this, you will get two halves. You will not get right. If you cut a circle, you will get two halves. You cut this, you will not get two halves in any. If you cut in all the planes, you will get two halves. If you cut in a particular plane, then how you will cut, sir? Cut like this. You will get two halves. I don't like cutting organisms. Okay, but still, it is bilateral symmetry, two symmetry, double symmetry. One example is planaria. The other example is liver fluke. These are examples for Platyhelminthes. Triploblastic. It means three germ layers. Acolomate. No, this is a new word, sir. What is colomate? Acolomate. What is colo? Colo means body cavity. Do we have a cavity in our body? Yes, sir. Lungs also will be having cavity. Many organs in our body will be having cavity. Cavity means open space. A colo. Colo means cavity is present. A colo means cavity won't present. These are already very flat. Where it will have the cavity? No, right? Simple. Basic concepts. Planaria and liver fluke. These examples are important. You need to remember. No other option. I can't help. Planaria and liver fluke. Nematoda. Nematoda, it will have cylindrical body. Platy will have flat body. Nematoda will have cylindrical body. See, organisms like this, it has cylindrical body. Cylinders, sir. Not gas cylinders, sir. Cylinders, sir. Examples are Ascaris, Eukaryoria or Eukaryoria. Ascaris, Eukaryoria. These are examples. These will have pseudocolum present. Pseudocolum means false cavity. Now you see them. It seems like they are fat. It seems like they are having cavity within them. It seems like that, but they actually don't have it. It only seems like they are fat and they have the cavity, but they don't have it. So they named it as pseudo, false colo. And these are mostly parasitic, which I told you already. Examples are Ascaris and Eukaryoria. Next is Annelida. Features of Annelida are, examples if you see first, earthworms and leech are examples. Earthworms and leechers are examples for Annelida. Snail is example for mollusca. Why I am stressing these are because you have seen leech, but you might feel like they also have mucus around their body. They are also soft, so they belong to mollusca. And earthworm also have soft body. It seems like they have mucus around their body, so they belong to mollusca. No. The main differentiation between both of them are the segmented body. You observe now. You need to. Your observation is required now. Observe it. Observe it properly. You see the earthworm. You might have seen segments now. See that? Are you seeing the segments? You are seeing the segments, right? You have seen the leech also. Leech also will have segments. Very fine segmentations. So what the biology forefathers did to the classification is, whatever are segmented, they kept under Annelida. Whatever are not segmented but with a smoother body, they kept under mollusca. Easy. Segmented body, and they have the true column. They'll have the cavity. Column means cavity. Column means cavity. They'll have the true column. Earthworms and leeches are examples. Basic differences, concepts. You will remember it. Mollusca, I told you now. No segmented body. So soft body. Muscular foot. Have you seen the feet of snail? It will move with its muzzle only, but it will not have legs. And muscles. These are examples. Open circulatory system. Its circulatory system is open, not interior. That means it can breathe through outside. Next, echinodermata. Echinodermata means, you see the spines. You can see the spines, right? Few organisms will be having spiny like outer structures. It will have spiny skin. So whatever are spiny skinned, they kept it under echinodermata. Examples are starfish, sea urchin. Okay. And usually they are marine in nature, and radial symmetry. Radial symmetry, I told you. You can cut it under any plane. You'll get 2 halves. Fine. Here also same. You'll get 2 halves. Easy, right? Just that you need to remember, which can't be helped from my side. Now, chordata. Why chordata, sir? Why the name chordata, sir? Because it will have the chord. What chord? Notochord for the support. Notochord for the support. If they have it, then it is a chordata. Dorsal nerve will be present. Just remember the name. Details are not required. We are not doing MBBS here. Okay. Notochord is present. A nerve will be present to connect the notochord and column will be present. As the organisms advance now, they'll get the cavity for various functions. That is why after getting cavity, the cavity kept on continuing to other organisms, evolved organisms. Then three-blastic, triploblastic. The skin is divided into ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. If triploblastic, only 2 layers, ectoderm and endoderm. The middle layer won't be there. If they are diploblastic, if they are triploblastic, they'll get the middle one, that is mesoderm, middle one, mesoderm. Now, the protochordata. Protochordata means notochord present at some stage, not the entire stage. Chordata usually will be having notochords during entire stage, but specific organisms within chordata will have notochord only during a specific stage of their life, not entire life. Entire life cycle they will not be having the notochord, only specific life cycle, specific lifespan. Then those are called as protochordata. Fine. Those are usually marine animals. Examples are important. Balanoglossus, Herdmania, Amphioxus. Can't help with the name. Seriously, when I was a student, this was the chapter I always used to leave. You shouldn't leave this chapter. That is why I simplified so much. A simplification beyond this is impossible for any biology teacher in entire nation. Okay. This can be the ultimate simplification. Beyond this, what requires is your memory power, your efforts, your daily revision. Okay. Next is vertebrata. What is vertebrata, sir? Some name seems like somewhere I have heard vertebrata. Yes, vertebral column. When a vertebral column, supporting column, when a supporting vertical column is present, then it is called as vertebrata. Vertebral column is present, and the internal skeleton will be there around that vertebral column. Around that you will have a skeleton. You will have a skeleton like this. You will have, right? Then those are called as vertebrata. Examples are pisces, means the fish species, all the fish species. Amphibians are frogs and other things. It live both on water and soil. If they want to reproduce, they will go to the water. Those are amphibians. Next are reptilia. Reptilia are all the lizard-like creatures. And remember, crocodile importantly, crocs, not the crocs. Of course, crocs are named after crocodile only. Crocodiles belongs to reptilia. You might think, sir, crocodile will be there in water. Sometimes they'll get to the sun. They'll get to the sun because they can maintain their body temperature. But they don't belong to amphibians. They belong to reptilia. Okay. Next, aves. Aves means all the bird species. Next are mammalia, which you know. Easy. We'll go forward. We'll discuss each one of them in detail now. This is very important. Kindly focus. Next, this is easy. Discuss. Habitat, water. You know this. Amphibians means by the name land and water. They'll get to the water because to reproduce, to have babies, they'll get to the water. Reptilia, land. Aves, air and land. Next is mammalia, mostly land. This is how the evolution also happened. Evolution also happened in the same sequence. First we were in water, then we did here and there nature, migration. Next we adapted to the land. We adapted to the land, but we couldn't control our body temperature. So that we flew above, we became waves. Then we understood we can control body temperature, we became a mammal. That's how it happened. Next is skin. If you see the skin, how are the fish skin? It is scales. How are the frog skin? It is moisture in nature. How are the crocodile skin? It is dry scales. These are wet scales. These are dry scales. These don't have scales. Amphibia won't be having scales. They will be having moist body. Aves, feathers. Mammalia, hairs. Easy, right? Next is respiration. How do you think the fish will respire? How do you think the fish will take in the oxygen? It is through gills. Gills will absorb dissolved oxygen. Okay, oxygen. Amphibia will live both in water and land, so they need both gills and lungs. Other things, they are outside, so lungs. Easy concept. Next is heart. Now this is important. Remember the sequence 2 3 3 4 4 2 3 3 4 4 2 3 3 4 4 2 3 3 4. That is how the sequence is. Those are the chambered ones. But the exception, crocodile belongs to reptilia. I told you crocs belong to reptilia, and those are 4 chambered. This is an exception, and this is very important. If at all they asked a question on chambers, they'll ask crocodile only. Okay. Next, body temperature. I told you body temperature. Viscous, I told you crocodile, right? Crocodile will come out to the land only to maintain their body temperature. Means they can't control their body temperature. They need outside source to control their body temperature. Fine. So until reptilia, it is cold-blooded. Beyond that, we made sure our body can be controlled within ourselves. We don't need outside outside resources. Fine. Behind reptilia, everything it is cold-blooded. After that, it is warm-blooded. Easy concepts. And one more thing, you know this. Viscous, amphibia, reptilia, aves, everything will live eggs. Mammalia will mostly give birth. There are exceptions to mammals. Mammals can also give birth through eggs. Comment the mammals which can give birth through eggs. Okay, comment it. Next, examples. Examples is easier. Examples for fish, rohu, tuna, all those things, amphibia. These examples are important now. These examples are usually confused. These all things very easy. Amphibia, frog and toad belongs to amphibia. Snake, lizard, crocodile belongs to reptilia. Rest all you will know. Not very important one, you will know that. Next, the terms and meanings, which is easy, which we already discussed. Just a meaning of the terms. Colo means cavity. Acolo means no body cavity. Pseudo means false body cavity. Colomate means true cavity. Diplo, triplo, blastic means germ layers. If they have only exo and endo, then it is called as diploblastic. If they have meso germ layer, then it is called as triploblastic. Next is radial symmetry. You can divide a starfish into 2 equal halves from any plane, then it is radial symmetry. You can divide a butterfly only in 2 equal halves in only one particular plane, then it is called as bilateral symmetry, double symmetry, many names. Next is notochord. A support rod-like structures in chords will be there, chordata will be there, that is called as notochord. Easy, right? Easy terms. Next, control and coordination. This is a new subunit, control and coordination. Who controls your body? Which organ in your body controls your body? It is brain, sir. And what is coordination, sir? Brain controls your body. Brain gives the signals. And brain coordinates with various organs. That is coordination, sir. Easy, right? How that happens within humans and plants is a subunit. We will discuss this. Fine. This is also very important for the examination. Next, control and coordination. How does it happen? What is the function of control and coordination? Sir, I already told you. It helps organism to respond to the changes in environment. If something in the environment happens, say a fire suddenly comes and breaks into this room and it falls on my face. What does my brain tell? Arey, you have to move like this. You have to move like this. You have to run out of the room. Who told you all these things? Did I read the instruction in the previous slide? No, right? Suddenly my brain told. Even a baby will get these instructions. Did a baby read? No, because the brain understands it. The brain signals the entire organs. All the organs in the body listens to the brain, and it behaves according to the stimuli, according to the message. That is, it responds to the changes in environment. Fine, right? Easy. Next, In animals, it is controlled by one, the nervous system. What is the nervous system? The brain and there is another part, comment it down, which I already told you in the previous classes. One is the nervous system. Second one is, this is important now, endocrine glands. That is hormonal system. There are two type of glands in the body, endocrine glands and the exocrine glands. Endocrine glands are inside our body. There will be glands like the thyroid gland, like the pituitary gland, like the hypothalamus gland. Okay, many kinds of glands. The three major one are hypothalamus gland, below that is pituitary gland, and here we will have the thyroid gland. And these glands will release the particular hormones in the blood. The hormones will be released directly into the blood. These are called as endocrine glands, and there will be certain exocrine glands. See, my skin is the exocrine gland and it will release the sweat. When the body needs cooling, it will release the sweat during the hot temperature. That is exocrine gland. And to release this sweat, they will have ducts or tube-like connections or openings. Ducts will be there. But endocrine glands will not have the ducts. It will directly release the hormone into the blood. I'll explain all these concepts again. I'm just giving a brief introduction so that you'll be prepared for this. Now, easy, right? Now, in animals, the control and coordination is done by one nervous system, including brain, and other one. No, go back, read it. If you already know it, kindly comment it. Your comment is the biggest appreciation for me. For any teacher per se, the comment from the teacher, appreciation from the teacher is like, oh God, I am being done good things, I'll continue it, I'll continue the good work. And if you feel something is bad with my teaching, kindly comment it down. I'll sure correct it and I'll give a better output. Few students from Karnataka are asking me to speak in Kannada, for which I will definitely do. But right now, this I have started like a all India program, so that I am delivering in the English. So, ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಕನ್ನಡಕೆಯಿಂದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತೀರೋ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಕ್ಷಮಿಸಿ, ನಾನು ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಯೂಚರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ కన్నడದಲ್ಲಿ. సేమ్ విత్ ద తెలుగు మీకు కూడా చెప్తున్నాను. 100% ఫ్యూచర్లో తెలుగులో క్లాస్ చెప్తాను. అండ్ సేమ్ విత్ ది తమిళ్ 100% ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ சொல்வேன் ಇನ್ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್. ಬಟ್ இப்போ பார்த்தா அது feasible ಇಲ್ಲ, சரியா? ಸೇಮ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಹಿಂದಿ. ಫೈನ್. Endocrine glands also controls your body through hormones. Hormones will tell your body what to do. Easy, right? Next, the nervous system. This is it. Next, you are telling nervous system, sir. What is nervous system, sir? I already told you nervous system, sir. So I am not doing nervous system again, sir. But within nervous system there are parts. One is called as receptors. Receptors means these are special cells. A particular cells will be there in the body for the function of receiving the messages. Those are called as receptors. Receptors that detect the stimuli. If the fire comes and falls on my face moves like this and like this, right? Who will receive that message? Who will adapt to that stimuli? Those are receptor cells. Okay, easy. Now, what are the examples for receptor cells, sir? One is gustatory receptor. Two is olfactory receptor. Gustatory receptors are the taste buds. It will tell you what to eat, what not to eat. Taste buds, gustatory receptors. Olfactory receptors, the smell. It detects the smell. It will tell you what to breathe in, what not to breathe in. Fine. We will go now. If something is very bad in smell, you will close your nose or you will stop breathing. You will stop inhaling. Why? Your brain will tell you, "Arey yaar, if you take this air, you might get sick, or you might feel uncomfortable, or you might lose your consciousness." That is where your olfactory receptors comes in work. Same with the gustatory receptor. Easy. These are called receptor cells. These two are examples, the major two examples. Now the path of nerve impulse. You have seen dendrin, right? The nerve cell, the cute boy we spoke earlier, which act as a basic unit of nervous system, the dendrin. If you connect all this, you will get the dendrin. Now, a dendrite will be there. The first initial one, the cute boy's face, is the cell body, that is the head, and the chain which he will have for his body is called as axon. Chain which he will have for the body is called as axon. Only two main things. One is his body acts as cell. His body acts as cell body, the nucleus, and his chain which is connected to the head is acts as axon. Fine. Next comes the synapse. This is not part of the dendrite. Dendrite is the entire thing. Cell body is the upper head. The body, other body is axon, and there comes and next comes the next neuron, next dendrite. Here is the first dendrite, here is the next dendrite. Now what happens is, the cell body receives information, what to do. First thing, the head will receive the information and it will pass through the body, pass through the axon, and there will be many dendrites, many cells like this. Information should be passed from each cell and it will ultimately reach the brain, and from the brain again it goes to other organs. That is how it happens, right? So, from one cell to another cell to happen, that is called as synapse. Now, what is synapse? Synapse is, you see this is dendrite 1, this is dendrite 2. This is called as synapse. Synapse is a small gap between two neurons, two neuron cells, two dendrites. Okay. What the first dendrite does is, it will do a chemical signals. It will release the chemicals or electric signals or electric impulses. That will be taken by the second dendrite. The chain will continue for many times until it reaches the brain or until it reaches from brain to the other organs. Okay. That is how it happens. Very easy, right? Conceptual in nature. Nothing to mug up, except for the names which can't be helped. Fine. Now see, reflex action. What is reflexor? See, I have the fire. This is me. If without knowing, now I am seeing that side. Without knowing, if I touch the fire, what I'll do? Immediately I'll take my hand like this. Okay. The quick automatic response to a stimulus without conscious thinking. Do you think I would have thought there would be a fire? I should take the hand immediately like this. Nothing. I was not prepared. But I'll take my hand without thinking. It is not based on consciousness. Without consciousness only you do those things. That is reflex action. Examples are pulling hand away from fire, blinking eyes. Why you will blink eyes? To give rest to the eyes. Will you count how many blinks you have done? Will you tell your body when to blink, when not to blink? Will you tell your eyes like that? No. Without knowing only you will be blinking. See, I just blinked. Okay. And next is salivation. This is also involuntary in nature. Okay. Next is reflex arc. Reflex arc means how the process goes. That is the reflex arc. Reflex action is the action, involuntary action without consciousness. What happens? That is reflex action. Reflex arc is how it passes the signals. First is receptor cells firstly the receptor cells take the stimuli. Then it passes to the neurons. You know how the neurons will pass the information, right? One dendrite, synapse, other dendrite. That is how it happens. And next it goes to spinal cord. First the neurons will take it. It will give it to our spinal cord. And then a motor neuron will be there. And then it will take it to different muscles or glands. It happens like this. This is the reflex arc. So we'll move ahead. Now, components of nervous system. Two major components. One is the CNS, other one is the PNS. What is CNS? What is PNS now? NS is nervous system, C is central system, P is peripheral system. Central and peripheral system. Central is main, peripheral means the other. Something like that, easy. Now we'll see what is the central ones. Central ones are brain and the spinal cords. What is brain? This is brain, right? And what is spinal cord? This is spinal cord. The brain and the spinal cord are CNS. These are the CNS, central nervous system. So what is the peripheral nervous system, sir? Where is it, sir? Peripheral nervous system are the cranial and spinal nerves connecting to the body to the central nervous system. There will be other cells and cranials which will be connecting to my brain and my what is this? Spinal cord. Whatever connects to those and whatever takes the messages from those or gives the messages to those are called as peripheral nervous system. Easy names. By the names only you should understand the concepts. Now the brain and the parts of brain and what each part will do. That is the concept now. This is human brain, right? Human brain. Saw for 1,000 or lakhs of times in our life. So you see, the first one which comes is forebrain. Our topmost one is this forebrain. We will have the skull, the bone. The skull is called the bone. So we'll have a skull bone, and below that is the forebrain, and below that we'll have two. The connection one is called as midbrain. What connects the forebrain usually? That is the midbrain, and at the one side we'll be having the hindbrains, and the functions of each brain, especially the hindbrain and forebrain is very important. Hindbrain and forebrain is very important. We'll see them. Okay. See, firstly if we go forebrain, this helps in thinking, memory, intelligence and sensory perception. We were speaking about nervous system, impulses, stimulus, message, body behavior, control, coordination, everything, right? And the main brain for the sensory perception is forebrain. All the receptor cells listens to the forebrain. Okay. Next, thinking, memory and intelligence also. These things you have to remember. Next is midbrain. Midbrain is the relay center. Relay center means central coordinating center. It connects both of them. This is something like central center. Okay. Next, this controls some involuntary actions also. Next is hindbrain. Hindbrain helps in balance, posture. It helps in balance and posture, one thing. And some involuntary actions, we'll see this. What are these examples? We'll see this. See now. Functions of forebrain, I told you. It helps in thinking and decision making. Plus sensory. Sudden sensory, it will have receptor cells plus sensory, thinking and decision making. Receives sensory information. Control, voluntary. So what happens is, forebrain usually controls voluntary actions. Hindbrain and midbrain controls the involuntary actions. Controls voluntary actions are, if I want to write, if I want to use this pen, if I want to explain this, it is my forebrain telling me to do all these things. Speaking, clapping, all these things, what is in our control which is being done is done by forebrain. What is not in our control will be done by midbrain and the hindbrain. Okay. Next is hindbrain. The parts of hindbrain is also important. Two parts, cerebellum and medulla. Cerebellum and the medulla. Cerebellum, it helps in balance, posture and precision movement. It helps in movement. But I also told you few involuntary actions which are important. Those are, it controls breathing. Is anybody telling you to breathe in now, breathe out now? That only happens during yoga. Okay, on a daily basis, if you are doing breathing and breathe out, that is controlled by medulla and it is involuntary in nature. Involuntary. Heartbeat, blood pressure, salivation and vomiting. Okay, all these are done by medulla. Cerebellum, the balance and posture. Balance and posture is by cerebellum. Next is protection of the brain. What gives protection to our brain without getting injured? What gives it? One is the skull. Skull as a bone acts as protection. Something falls on my head suddenly. I don't feel my brain getting ache, my brain getting pain. I only feel my head, my outer skin. That will get the pain, not the brain. Because that is being protected by the skull. The skull. This is the skull. Okay. The other thing, the skull will get hit. Okay. Skull will take the pain. But it doesn't pain the brain which is very adjacent to the skull. Why, sir? If I get hit to this pen, see, I am having a pen. If I get it to this pen, my hand also will react. My hand also will shake. My hand also will feel the pain, not just the pen. If this is the skull, if this is the brain, if something hits the skull, the brain also should pain. No, why not? Because there is something called as fluid between the skull and the brain. That fluid will take all the pressure so that the brain is felt safe. So what the name of that fluid is cerebrospinal fluid, that acts as shock absorber. You see, this is the skull, this is the fluid. It will take all the shocks. Fine, conceptual, easy. Cerebrospinal fluid, the function is shock absorption. Fine, right? Easy, right? Okay with the function. These functions are very important, especially cerebellum and medulla, involuntary functions. Next is how are muscles. Before going to this, we'll see few of the endocrine hormones and endocrine glands, which is very important for the examination. As I told, three major glands are there: hypothalamus gland, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, and what they release, the hormones, and how those hormones function the human body is what the concept is. See, firstly, endocrine glands. What are endocrine glands? What are endocrine glands? Endo means inside. These are ductless glands. Duct means there won't be tubes or any passageway. Directly release the hormones, and those hormones will directly get into the blood, mixed with blood. Ductless glands, they release chemicals called as hormones directly into your blood and travel around the body. Easy concept. Endocrine, ductless gland. Exocrine will have the ducts. I told you the skin example. Fine, right? Now the hormones and functions. Firstly, tryptophan releasing hormone. Now, one more thing you have to understand is, whenever there is a word of RH, whenever there is a hard words or letters of RH, it is called as releasing hormone. Releasing hormone. Whenever it is IH, it is called as inhibiting hormone. It is called as inhibiting hormone. If it is RH, releasing. If it is IH, inhibiting. Releasing means to do certain function, to start with something, to enhance certain efficiency. That is releasing. Okay, and to stop the release, that is inhibiting. Same function, to stop it, it is IH. And these glands, three types will be there. I told now. One is the hypothalamus. This is the hypothalamus. Below that will be pituitary. Below that there will be various other glands. One of them being the thyroid gland. Now it is like a kingdom. In a kingdom or empire, what you will have at the top? A king. Yes, sir, we'll be having a king to be seated. We'll be having a king at the top, and below him we'll be having a soldier. Soldier? No. We'll be having a Senadipati, commander-in-chief. And below that we'll be having this soldier. Multiple soldiers will be there, right? Now, who is this soldier, right? Who masters the soldiers? Where did this go now? Oh, what is this? Okay, I'll do it again. Don't worry. Now I told you, a king will be there. A king will be there at the top, and below him will have the commander-in-chief, that is the Senapati, and below him will have various soldiers and various department of soldiers. Various department of soldiers, one with the elephants, one with the horses, one with the guns, one with the arrows. Those are various department of the soldiers. Okay, now who is the master of soldiers? He is the master. Who is the master of commander-in-chief? Who is the master of Senadipati? He is master of Senapati, that is master of master. He is the master of master. Easy. Similarly we have hypothalamus, pituitary, and below that various glands like thyroid. Below that we have thyroid. Pituitary tells all the endocrine glands to do what to do. It will tell various glands what to do, what hormone to be released at what time. That is told by pituitary. But pituitary itself is controlled by hypothalamus. So hypothalamus is the master of master. Pituitary is master gland. These are serving glands. Okay. Master of master, and master is important. Now, hypothalamus, hormones and the functions, various hormones. I told RH means releasing, IH means inhibiting. Now, thyrotropin releasing hormone. What is thyrotropin, sir? Thyroid. What it does is, it tells the pituitary. The hypothalamus tells its commander-in-chief, that is the pituitary, to turn on the thyroid gland, which will release thyroxine hormones called as 3,4, T3, like that. Okay. Hypothalamus releases TRH, which will tell the pituitary to activate the thyroid gland, and thyroid gland will release T4 and T3, that is thyroxine. Easy. This is the concept, which is obviously difficult, confusing, but you have to remember. Next, growth hormone. How we will grow. Okay, the growth hormone. It tells the pituitary to release growth hormone. Releasing hormone means release the growth hormone. Growth inhibiting, to stop the growth. Now the hypothalamus tells the pituitary to stop the growth hormone, that is inhibiting hormone. Next is the inhibiting hormone of growth is also called as somatostatin. Okay. Next is corticotropin, sir. What is corticotropin, sir? Just like there is one thyroid gland, there will be other gland called as adrenal glands. What these adrenal glands does is, you have heard the word adrenal rush, right? Adrenal rush. Doing something in very hurry or very excited, in very great efficiency, in very fast manner. These are called as adrenal rush, because it is named after adrenal gland. That adrenal gland will take the stress and it will act what the environment requires. How the environment requires, it will make our body adapted. That determines the reaction to the stress. That is controlled by corticotropin, which is released by endocrine. Corticotropin releases endocrine. This CRH tells the pituitary to activate adrenal glands for stress response. Easy. Next is GN. G means growth. GN means gonadotropin. Gonads means something like gametes. This gonadotropic release hormone, it tells the pituitary to activate ovaries and testis. What the testis releases? Testosterone. What the ovaries releases? You know it, right? You have studied for so many years. Google it down if you don't know. Because me telling, you Googling, there is a difference. Me telling, you listen and leave it in the other ear. If you search it, You will remember for a longer time. Next is prolactin. PRH. P means prolactin. Lactin. Lactin is like lactose. Lactose means milk. What is milk in humans? Breast milk. The mothers, what they give. Prolactin contains the lactose, that is the milk. It tells the pituitary glands to start breast milk production. Next, PIH, that is dopamine. Other name is dopamine. So IH has other names. GHIH, the growth, other name for growth inhibition is somatostatin. The other name for prolactin, inhibition of prolactin, is called as dopamine. How they stop the breast milk is dopamine or PIH, prolacto inhibiting hormone. Easy names, just that you should get used to it, that's all. What is tough in this, you say? Thyrotropin. T means thyrotropin. Thyroid is released, it is connecting the thyroid, it is telling the to activate thyroid. Next is growth. What is difficult in growth? It is telling the pituitary gland to help in growth. Inhibition, the other name for inhibition is somatostatin. Okay. Next is CRH. C means corticotropin. Cortico is related to adrenal gland, stress response. P means prolactin, lactin, lactose is related to breast milk. If that is inhibited, dopamine. What is tough in this? Just your mindset is tough, that's all. Easy, right? Don't tell it is hard now, please. So much of work has been done for this. Don't tell it is hard now. Next is pituitary gland. I told you pituitary gland is the master gland because it controls various other glands. Okay. See, this is pituitary gland, and here you will get the thyroid gland, which will be butterfly in shape. We'll see that. Now the pituitary glands. It releases hormones that controls many other glands and body functions, as I told you. Now, I told you T is related to thyroid stimulating hormone. S means stimulating hormone. Okay. All that RH and IH, if in exam it comes like RH and IH, releasing hormone, inhibiting hormone, that is related to hypothalamus. If it comes like SH, stimulating hormone, or directly H, then FSH, something like that, if it comes, it is pituitary. Don't get confused. Similar names it will be there, but IH and RH won't be there. That is a cheat. That is how you remember things. If not, it's very difficult. Next is T, thyroid stimulating hormone. T means thyroid. What it does is it travels to the neck to activate the thyroid gland, because TIH released by hypothalamus told the pituitary gland to activate thyroid gland. What the pituitary gland does is it releases other hormone in response to TIH released by hypothalamus. The other hormone is named as TSH. It travels through the blood to neck and activates the thyroid gland. TIH goes to pituitary gland, pituitary releases the TSH will activate the thyroid gland. Easy, right? Not very difficult. Growth hormone stimulates growth and bone cell development. Easy. Adrenocorticotropic hormone, something like cortico. You heard this. What is cortico? Adreno. We already discussed adrenocortico. What is it? It is related to cortisol, that is the stress relief, which is controlled by adrenal glands. Easy. The names, just that you need to get used to it. Follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone by gonadotropins, triggers egg development, that is estrogen, sperm, that is testosterone. Follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, gonadotropins. Prolactin, you know that. Vasopressin, ADH. This is tells the kidneys to reabsorb water and maintain the fluid balance. Oxytocin. During pregnancy, the uterine contractions will be there. The uterine should contract release, only then baby will push forward, a birth takes place, else it becomes very difficult. So that a body releases a organ, oxytocin, that makes the mother's body get extra energy for pushing a baby, oxytocin. It triggers the contractions during labor and milk letdown. Labor means the delivery time, okay, delivery time, pregnancy time. Next is thyroid gland. Very easy, very simple, done and dusted with this hormone things. Thyroid gland is butterfly shaped. It helps in metabolism and energy absorption and calcium balance. T4 and T3, these are thyroid hormones, controls your metabolism. Calcitonin, calcium lowers the calcium levels in the body by pushing it to the bones. Your body will take the calcium, right? And that calcium should not go into the body but to the bones. That work is done by calcitonin. That's all. Easy. Hormone is the most difficult chapter and it is made easy by us. Okay. Your comment is the most appreciated way of thankfulness. Kindly do that. You can also like, share and subscribe if you know it, if you feel this as very helpful. Next is how muscle works. You know our muscle works. How does it work? See this boy, his muscle is working now. How is it working? How is this muscle working now? What is the mechanism? How is the muscle working? What is the mechanism of it? Not very important for the examination. I am just giving it so that you will understand your body. First is nerve impulses reaches the muscle. It will tell your nerves, your dendrites will tell the muscle to react. Next, special protein in muscle fibers contracts and relaxes. Now my nerves are telling me to fold this hand. If I fold this hand, it is contracting. My biceps is growing. Okay, it is contracting, it is growing. If I release it, it is flattening. Again, special proteins is released for this work. Okay, it's not so easy. A protein should be released for this work. Next, this produces the movement. That is how your body will do the movement. That is how you can walk. That is how you can sleep. That is how you can maintain a posture in a chair. Easy. That is how the muscle works. Next time you see, if you wanted to even think how a body reacts, how a body moves, remember our classes for reactions, receptor cells, nerve system, CNS, PNS, various hormones, and how the body movement happens through muscle works, how the nervous system is connected to that. Make sense of how your daily life goes on. Okay, it's not like, okay, we are born with the body and the body does whatever it needs. We need to understand our body. Now, control and coordination similarly happens in plants also. How does it happen? We'll understand here. Okay. Next, characteristics of control and coordination in the plants, not in the animals. How? Do they have nervous system like us? The PNS and CNS, the brain, the spinal cord, and the connections to the CNS, that is the PNS. Do they have that? Do you think so? No, sir. Then, do they have the muscles, the proteins connected to the muscles, just like how we saw now? No, sir. Then how, sir? Special chemicals or electric signals will be released between or within the plants that will make sure plants will react according to the environment. Okay, you have seen this plant, right? This plant is called as touch me not plant in general terms, and the special word, the specific word for that is called as mimosa. Right, mimosa. Now I'll reconnect this plant to the first chapter, cell chapter. I told you, when a cell gets water, what is that called as? When a cell gets water, it will swell. When the swell releases the water, it will shrink. It will swell when it gains the water. It will shrink when it is releasing the water. Okay, that happens through diffusion, or specifically water means osmosis. Higher concentration to lower concentration, leave all that. Gaining and losing is important. If it gains water, swell. If it loses water, shrink. Now you touch the mimosa plant. What it does is it will contract. It will close all its leaves. Okay. what happens here is the mimosa plant is telling to entire leaves, okay, some idiot has come and is touching us, or some goat or sheep has come, it is trying to eat us. Maybe we should protect ourselves. We should minimize our body so that we are not clearly visible to others. So what it does, it will lose the water, it will shrink. Okay, it will lose the water, it will shrink. It will swell only after few more hours, maybe 3 or 4 hours, until and unless it gains a few more water. It will lose water, it will shrink, it will act like dead. That is how it happens. Very beautiful creature. Okay, mechanism is cell lose or gain water, swelling or shrinking in movement. Next is movement due to growth. Example, tendrils, pea plant. Unequal growth will happen so that it will bend according to the support, that is tendrils. Easy. Next is phototropism, very important for the examination, a PVQ as well. Phototropism. You have seen the sunflower plant, right? Sunflower, sir. Sorry, my drawing is not good, I know, but I wanted to give you an example. If sun is like that, have you observed? Sunflower will always be towards the sun, even in the NCERT books. Sunflower will always be towards the sun. That is why it is named after sunflower, named after sun. And also it looks like sun, and that is also one of the reason to be named after the sun. What happens is, if the sun is this side, it will see this side. When the sun goes towards the other side, it will see that side. That means the movement of the body, the movement of the plant body is according to the movement of the sun. That is called as phototropism. If I divide it, photo refers to the sun, tropism refers to the movement. Easy, the words. Now, plant will have a hormone called as auxin. Don't think I didn't explain this, I'll explain it, because there are various other hormones released by the plant just like the human, important for the plant and important for the examination most importantly. Auxin moves to the other side. If the sun is this side, the auxin, what auxin does is it will help in growth of the shoot. It goes to the other side. This is one side, this is one side, this is the second side. Now the plant has to bend like this, right? Plant has to blend like this. The growth majorly happens the other side. The bending happens is this side. The growth happens through the hormone of auxin. So auxin comes this side. The bending happens this side. Cell shaded, grow faster. Shoot bends towards the light. That is called phototropism. Easy. Next, as I told you, there are hormones of plant which are very important for the plant as well as for the examination. Yes, sir? Okay, sir. Now the hormone. One is the auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, abscissus acid. 4 things, sir. Confusing, sir, but important, sir. Can't help, sir. I can't at all help, sir, because very important, sir. Auxin, what it does is, I already told you, it helps in shoot growth. It promotes the shoot growth and it helps in phototropism. This is known. Next is gibberellin. The reason I gave you this is, you remember, what more help can I do? Gibberellin, what more help can I do except for a proper explanation, which I believe I am doing now. Okay, kindly share it, subscribe it. We are starting new. We want a support from your side. Okay, gibberellin, this promotes cell growth. When the cell grows, the body will grow. I told you, cell divides. The growth happens only when the cells divide. When the cells stop dividing, it will become a permanent tissue. This concept, tissue concept, second class. How many times I stressed you? Listen to the first class, listen to the second class. This sets the foundation for the further classes. Have you listened to my words? If you had listened to my words, this is easy now. Gibberellin, this promotes cell growth, stem growth. This helps in, this is cell division is by cytokinin. Cell division is done by cytokinin. Okay. Gibberellin is stem growth. Overall, further division, growth of the plant is by cytokinin, cell division. This cytokinin, cell division, happens and helps various other hormones, that is gibberellin. Cell division happens in this thing stem, that helps the gibberellin. Gibberellin will grow the stepperic stem gland. The specific stem, if the cytokinin cell division happens in the shoot has to grow, then it will help auxin, that will help in shoot growth. The interconnections is important. Not important for the examination, important for your understanding of the concept. Auxin, gibberellin for the stem, auxin for the shoot, cytokinin, cyto means cell. Now you will remember a thing, cell division is by cytokinin. Now it comes the abscisic acid. You remember the name acid? Acid means something. If an acid falls on something, what will happen? It will behave like it is dead. It will behave like it is injured. Okay, that happens. That's how you can remember this abscisic acid. You see this plant, how poor, because it has accumulated abscisic acid. This inhibits growth, causes wilting or shedding of plant, and dormancy means it will go to dormant stage. If water is not available, what plants does is it will slow its metabolism, it will get into dormancy, it will do this wilting. Plants will do this wilting. Now you have seen dry plants like this. If you don't water it, plants will be like this. You think this is bad for plants, because no, this is good for plants. Because if it acts very active, if it acts as a very active plant until it loses complete water, then it will die soon. If it feels the water is lesser, then it will stop its activity, it will minimize its activity, go to wilting stage. Then if it gets water, it will grow back. And if it feels it's something very, very bad, it will get into dormancy. Easy? Next, all this we have discussed. It will just be a recap with an addition of 1 or 2 hormones. Hormones in animals, it's chemical messengers which you already know. Thyroxine is by thyroid. You have seen these things, right? People usually tell, I got thyroid issue, thyroid. Thyroid is the gland. Thyroxine is the hormone. This disease is called as goiter. Okay, the name is important, goiter. Goiter is due to iron deficiency. Easy? Next is growth hormone. Growth hormone is by pituitary glands, which you already know. Growth release hormone, growth inhibition hormone, somatostatin, release and inhibition, somatostatin, this is done by hypothalamus. Growth hormone directly is given by pituitary glands. UPSC will play like this, will play with things like this. That is how UPSC is. Okay. Testosterone, testis, male puberty, you know this. Estrogen by ovaries, female puberty, you know this as well. Next is insulin. This one you need to know. Insulin is released by pancreas, importantly. This is important. Now insulin is released by pancreas. What does insulin do? It will control blood sugar. Okay. Next. How it will control, sir? I will discuss, sir. Firstly, thyroxine and iodine. Iodine is essential for the production of thyroxine hormone. For the production of thyroxine hormone, iodine is essential. When iodine is less, this won't produce. When this is not produced, you'll get goiter, swollen neck. Easy. Next is this thing, insulin. When it is high blood sugar, when there is sugar in the blood is high, what the body does is it will release more insulin to absorb the, or to eat the, or to consume the sugar. When the sugar in body is less insulin is released by the pancreas. This is pancreas. Easy, right? Very easy. Next is endocrine and exocrine gland, which we already discussed. This will be a concept. Endocrine glands, I told you, hormones will be directly released into the blood. No tubes like this, no ducts like this. But in exocrine glands, it will be present. Secretion is by hormones I told you. Here it is enzyme, sweat, mucus, saliva, which we know. Next is it is released into bloodstream directly. But exocrine gland specific location through ducts will be connected to specific locations. Like the sweat ducts will be connected to sweat pores. Sweat will come only out of sweat pores. Okay, that is specific. Examples, all the hormones which we study now. Here it is salivary glands, sweat glands. These are examples. Easy, right? Next is few terms which you already know. You know what neuron is. You know what synapse is. I told you that gap for the chemical information movement from one neuron to the other neuron, that is synapse. You know reflex action, reflex arc, what is hormone, what are phototropism, what is auxin, thyroxine, insulin. These all are easy, right? Don't tell sir I don't remember now, explain now. Then though it's very difficult. It's very difficult to even clear the exam. You have to remember, you have to listen to the class very well. Now we are ending this chapter, control and coordination, plant kingdom, diversification of various organisms into 5 animal kingdoms. Everything is done and dusted. Very easy chapters, very highly scoring chapters if you revise it properly. And to get these slides and various other information and complete end-to-end material for the paper 2 with day-to-day evaluation, extra specific guidance until you reach the interview stages is our responsibility. To enroll to this class, kindly contact the number displaying here, which is maintained by UpSmart IS customer care. Okay, we'll do that and we'll give a specialized focus. Kindly join us and also do subscribe to our channel, not just viewing, because we'll also be conducting various courses on various upcoming major examinations like the EPFO, NABARD, RBI, SSC, various other things. Kindly subscribe so that you will not miss any notification, any beautiful class like this. So that now only one small chapter is remaining which will be covered, that is heredity and evolution. It is some 30 minutes ka class or less than that will be covered by me. And moving forward, we will also do the chemistry class end to end very easily in a very good manner. Thank you. This is Prakash. Kindly subscribe and share it and comment it, because all we need now is your support and your better result in the examination. We are starting now. Kindly support us. Please support us. Thank you.